I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
If I just do athletes, what's gonna set me apart? It's just gonna be an athlete interviewing athletes. So I pivoted. I said, what if I do celebs? What if I do entertainers? What if I do rappers? What if I do influencers? And I started thinking, McDonald's didn't become McDonald's by just selling hamburgers. They sell chicken nuggets, they sell fish sandwiches, they used to sell milkshakes, but that machine is broken all the time.
Shannon Sharpe, in a conversation, addresses a snippet about Cat Williams making remarks about Diddy when asked if he, Cat, and Diddy ever partied together.
So I started to see, I said, okay, if he has a following or she has a following, they come on my podcast, now that's a different set of eyes. And I was like, that's it. So reach out and I get a Steve Harvey. I reach out and I get some of these big name, a Magic Johnson, some of these other guys.
Shannon Sharpe's rise to fame began as an NFL star, earning Hall of Fame status, later transitioning to a successful career as a sports commentator and analyst.
Even apart from him being a sports analysis with Skip.
And before he had the sports shit, he was a Hall of Fame tight end.
And before even being in the NFL, See, I know.
And his story is really crazy too, because he used to be really, really insecure about his speech impediment. So he's like gotten comfortable with just
to the point
talking.
that now he's here.
That's why he's yelling at Skip Bayless.
Yep. No, Skip Bayless is just like
Skip
somebody
was,
niggas
Skip
don't
was
want to work
being
with. Yeah, he's a dick.
Skip, facts.
Yeah.
Federal prosecutors claim raids on Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami homes uncovered recordings alleging drugs were used to control victims.
Federal prosecutors say various recordings were seized during the raids on Diddy's home in Los Angeles, homes, not one home, homes, as in plural, in Los Angeles and Miami earlier this year. The government also alleges participants of the quote-unquote freak-offs were often given controlled substances like ketamine and ecstasy.
Oprah Winfrey responded to allegations of abuse at her South African school, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, addressing concerns and emphasizing her commitment for students.
They didn't use the word sexual abuse. They implied that something inappropriate was going on. Hearing that, John Samuel, immediately after hearing that allegation, removed the accused, Tiny Makopo, from the campus. I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core when I first heard this news. And immediately within the first hour of receiving this information, Dr. Bruce Perry, who is founder of the Child Trauma Academy in Houston, Texas. And Dr. Perry informed me that the law in the United States requires that one must report, even if you suspect child abuse, it must be reported to the Child Protective Services. And so he said, if I were you, I would confirm if that is also the law in South Africa, which I did.
Feds allegedly reveal Oprah grooming kids for Diddy is part of recent online rumors and conspiracy theories, and she faced intense backlash when allegations of abuse emerged at her South African girls' school.
In 2007, Oprah Winfrey opened up a boarding school in South Africa. The academy had salons and gyms in it. Allegations have surfaced that this school was a front for child trafficking. These girls would be allegedly groomed to be ready for sale. Oprah handpicked the young girls who attended her school based on physical appearance, but it wasn't long until word got out about what really the school was about. Turns out these young girls were being touched or broken in by one of the employees there to allegedly get them ready for clients. Authorities found out about it, and the employee was charged with 13 counts of getting inappropriate with kids. Turns out at least 6 girls aged 13 to 15 were allegedly systematically and ritualistically targeted. Oprah went on record saying she was going to look at the situation, but after her investigation, the employee was cleared of any wrongdoing, and some allege Oprah had a hand in trying to cover it up. But these incidents continue to rock the school, including a newborn baby being found unalived at the school, which some say was for trafficking.
Oprah Winfrey faced criticism for her past connections with Harvey Weinstein, including appearing in photos with him and offering public support. However, she later condemned his actions after his misconduct conduct was exposed.
I started out giving a week's pay.
I remember that.
Because when I had my very first job in television, my first boss, Harold Crump, called us up and gave us a week's pay for Christmas. And so I did that every year after I had my own employees.
25
2
years.
months is a lot.
We have a lot to talk to you about, Oprah. We're going to start with, because you've been making news lately about the documentary involving...
I try not to make news,
I
but
know.
okay.
But I know that you've released a statement because you decided to take your name off the documentary involving Russell Simmons and his alleged abuse of women. And I think people question, why would Oprah, of all people, do that?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I have lived Me Too since I was 9 years old and was raped at 9, sexually assaulted from 9 to 14, and then raped again at 14. And nothing is harder than standing up for yourself when you're 14 and not being believed. And I was not believed by my own family.
Prince revealed the darker side of Hollywood, highlighting exploitation, control of artists, and systemic corruption within the entertainment industry, often emphasizing the importance of artistic freedom and ownership rights.
I know you haven't always loved the internet. How are you seeing progress right now with all of that? Can you use it to your advantage?
It's a double-edged sword, you know. A lot of artists aren't getting paid full scale for their art, and the internet, because of downloading and things like that, is kind of like a black hole, and it's hard to audit, it's hard to get accounting, and it's not that it's just about the money. And when people say that they love you and they respect you, but at the same time take, you know, 80% of your earnings, then expect you to fix your own communities, and they'll probably edit all of this out, but then it gets, that's the sharp part of the sword, and we're at the wrong end of it right now. So eventually, with courageous people going out there and actually saying something and standing up for it, I think we'll get some balance.
Oprah exposed the assumption that former child stars like the Olsen twins are wealthy, highlighting media exploitation of Mary-Kate's eating disorder and personal struggles.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like most of us know that people who are famous, most of them have a lot of money. It just goes without saying. Like, I definitely am not somebody who sits there and obsesses over it. It just is what it is. You know, they worked really hard as child actors. It goes without saying they had a lot of money, and so this whole interview, she just kept talking about that, and she even got their dad involved in the audience trying to figure out how much money they were making. And I'm like, why is this your business? But the clip that's got everybody really upset is that, you know, there was this whole thing back then where tabloids and stuff kept exploiting Mary-Kate and talking about how she had an eating disorder, this, that, and the other. You know, Oprah has always just come off as like this sweet, understanding woman, and you have these two kids sitting on your couch. They were 17 at the time, and if they are struggling with an eating disorder in this moment, the last thing you should ever ask them should be, what size are you? And you can see Ashley, when she asked this, just be completely taken aback, and they avoid answering the question.
Scandals from Oprah's TV behavior, mainly from the late 80s and 90s, have resurfaced, causing controversy.
Twitter has been bringing up a lot of old situations, and granted, I know we talk about this pretty often, but bringing up old situations is one of those things where sometimes it makes sense because there's some old situations like murder, sexual misconduct, where, you know, you never really just get past it and move on. And then there are older situations which are just scandals that nobody really should care about like a couple of years later because they're stupid. In this case, people have brought up Oprah Winfrey in regards to mainly her behavior a lot of the times on TV, on her show, in front of people. So we're not really talking about necessarily just behind the scenes tomfoolery. We're talking about recordings from the late 90s, I think some are even late 80s, that show her behaving in some type of way which has people worked up. It is in relation to Harvey Weinstein, Pizzagate, all of the stuff that happened in 2020, which somehow feels like 10 years ago and also like yesterday all at once. Needless to say, she is one of many, many, many celebrities that were connected in some way via pictures in public or whatever to Harvey Weinstein. Now, in this article, in fact, there is a picture of her looking towards Harvey Weinstein. As we well know, Harvey Weinstein was convicted of so much sexual deviancy, misbehavior, misconduct, whatever we want to call it.
Oprah reflects on her 25 years addressing sexual abuse, emphasizing it's both abuse and seduction, highlighting broader societal corruption beyond any single individual, including Michael Jackson.
Here's the reason why I'm here. In 25 years of The Oprah Show, I taped 217 episodes on sexual abuse. I tried and tried and tried to get the message across to people that sexual abuse was not just abuse, it was also sexual seduction. But for me, this moment transcends Michael Jackson. It is much bigger than any one person. This is a moment in time that allows us to see this societal corruption. It's like a scourge on humanity. And it's happening right now. It's happening in families. We know it's happening in churches and in schools and sports teams everywhere. So if it gets you, our audience, to see how it happens.
Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, has spoken out about Oprah and Diddy's potential involvement in controversial situations, shedding light on their alleged roles in certain scandals.
I just wonder what people are going to say, because, you know, I know Oprah had so many people on her show dealing with, like, I gotta choose my words carefully, man. YouTube be, boy, they be. But when it's dealing with men and women, you know, y'all know what I'm trying to say. The DV, you'll figure it out. The domestic stuff. But you already know with Oprah, with the whole Maui situation going on, that she got a lot of backlash for that. It's just, my whole thing is like, saying nothing is almost worse. Cause like, it's not like you gotta say, oh, I need to wait to see. You don't need to wait. Everybody in the world done seen that video.
There are reports suggesting Oprah's involvement with Diddy in some controversial situations. These claims have sparked rumors and speculation about their connection.
Oprah Winfrey has been implicated in the Diddy case by federal authorities due to her alleged involvement in human trafficking. In a desperate attempt to evade justice, Oprah reportedly tried to OD. Gayle King, her close confidant, posted an update revealing that Oprah is currently in the hospital, suggesting she is trying to avoid facing the serious charges against her. Meanwhile, Oprah's public relations team is in overdrive, attributing her hospitalization to complications from the weight loss drug Ozempic. Additionally, reports have surfaced that Oprah was allegedly involved in harvesting children in Hawaii for their anti-aging properties. Speculation is growing that Oprah may emerge from the hospital with a disability, potentially silencing her permanently about the accusations of trafficking children from her African school and exploiting kids in Hawaii for high-profile elites.
In 2007, Oprah Winfrey's South African boarding school faced allegations of being involved in child trafficking. An employee was accused of abusing students, but Oprah's investigation reportedly cleared them, sparking controversy.
In 2007, Oprah Winfrey opened up a boarding school in South Africa. The academy had salons and gyms in it. Allegations have surfaced that this school was a front for child trafficking. These girls would be allegedly groomed to be ready for sale. Oprah handpicked the young girls who attended her school based on physical appearance, but it wasn't long until word got out about what really the school was about. Turns out these young girls were being touched or broken in by one of the employees there to allegedly get them ready for clients. Authorities found out about it, and the employee was charged with 13 counts of getting inappropriate with kids. Turns out at least 6 girls aged 13 to 15 were allegedly systematically and ritualistically targeted. Oprah went on record saying she was going to look at the situation, but after her investigation, the employee was cleared of any wrongdoing, and some allege Oprah had a hand in trying to cover it up. But these incidents continue to rock the school, including a newborn baby being found unalived at the school, which some say was for trafficking.
Diddy has faced several allegations throughout his career, primarily accusing him of mistreating young artists in the music industry, particularly regarding unfair treatment and exploitation.
This video is from 2021. Diddy was being investigated for a while and has been paranoid ever since. In the video, Justin just looks so broken, like he's saying, you know, I've been having a rough time since you violated me and passed me around the industry. I mean, poor Justin. But if you increase the audio and get rid of all the background noise, you can hear Diddy say something to Justin that really explains everything. I definitely heard that. And it seems like Diddy was checking to see if Justin was wearing some sort of wire before he uttered this veiled warning. As I'm sure you're aware, Diddy is being investigated for human trafficking, and it's alleged in the Little Rod lawsuit, he would take advantage of men and women under the age of 16. After Little Rod announced his lawsuit, Justin Bieber allegedly had a relapse and a mental breakdown. His alleged OD made wife's Hailey Bieber's dad ask people to pray for the couple.
Critics claim that both Oprah and Diddy are linked to larger conspiracies, suggesting they share involvement in hidden agendas or influential networks, drawing comparisons between their roles in these alleged schemes.
If there was some weird shadiness going on with her channel, her page, and we've all, I can guarantee you, almost every person that do YouTube or any type of videos have experienced some type of weirdness going on when you try to talk about the truth. It's like they don't want it out. But my whole thing is like, I don't know if her family, if they even will, if anybody will even say anything. But to me, that sounds pretty crazy. If it came out, that's something. But it just seems like nothing comes out, right? It seems like we never get all the truth. They just throw little, but we never get the full story. Just like I said with the Epstein thing, it's like it just went away.
Dave Chappelle mentions Cat Williams' interview with Shannon Sharpe, where the comedian likely discussed his career, challenges and views, offering insights during their conversation on Sharpe's platform.
Dave Chappelle is basically saying that what Cat Williams did in that interview wasn't necessarily good for comedy. And D. Ray Davis is basically saying that it was good for comedy because comedy has been boring for a while. He said Cat Williams basically made this thing like basketball again. And he put the competitiveness back into comedy. And I have to agree. I mean, I definitely agree with what D. Ray Davis is saying on this situation, because if you guys notice, as soon as 2024 hit, I mean, he's right. I mean, you know, he brought the entertainment back into comedy, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he's been touring a lot. Okay, he's been doing a lot of tours, and I think this was also a publicity move for him as well, because, you know, he got that Dark Matter tour going on, so it's going to be better for him. I'm pretty sure he's going to pretty much sell out all of his shows.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.